13 kids chained to their beds. They were starved, abused, living in filth for years, and somehow nobody noticed. Let's talk about the Turpin family because this was actually breaking my heart. The parents, David and Louise Turpin, he was 23, she was 16 when they got married, which is already a walking red flag. They went on to have 13 kids, ages 2 to 29, and on the outside, they looked like a regular, quiet, religious family. But inside that house, I don't know any other way to explain it other than pure hell. The walls were covered in grime, the air smelled like human waste, there was trash everywhere, mattresses were filled with piss. And the kids were literally chained to their beds with padlocks, sometimes for days, sometimes for months. They were so starved that their arms looked like twigs, and then the grown-up kids looked 12. That is how malnourished they were. They got a shower once a year, and if they had an accident, they would be left sitting in it for hours. Oh, and get this, the fridge, it was fully stocked, but it was locked. The food was there, but they couldn't touch it. And when one of the older kids tried to sneak a bite of food, the parents made them watch as the family cat got mauled to death by wild dogs. Can we all agree that's psychotic as hell? But it gets way worse. They claimed to be homeschooling their kids, but they were not teaching them a damn thing. Most of them couldn't spell their own names. Some of them didn't even know what day it was. They weren't allowed to talk to each other, and their parents controlled every single second of their lives. And you're probably thinking, where was CPS? Where were their neighbors? Oh, the neighbors noticed. They said that the kids looked pale, thin, shy, but they just assumed that it was like homeschool awkwardness, and they just kept it pushing. Nobody said a thing. The system never stepped up, not once. Until one day, 17-year-old Jordan and her 13-year-old sister finally escaped. They crawled out of a window, but her little sister got so scared she crawled back inside. But Jordan, she knew that if she did not make it out right now, they were all going to die eventually. And using a phone that she had secretly grabbed from the house, she calls 911. Shaking and terrified, she tells police, "I just ran away from home. My parents are abusing us. They hit us, and 2 of my sisters are chained up right now." Police rush to the house, and when they walk inside, 3 kids are still chained to the beds, and the rest of them are scattered around the house in rooms that reek of death. But you think that'd be the end, right? Now that they're finally safe. No, because somehow the system failed them again. They got dumped into foster homes where they were abused again, assaulted again, neglected again. How does that even happen? And the government raised millions in donations to help the Turpin kids rebuild their lives, but they were still broke, still hungry, and still struggling for many years. Where did that money go? And then David and Louise had the audacity to walk into court and say, not guilty. Not guilty? You change your kids to beds. You let them rot in their own filth. And now you're pretending like it's all a big misunderstanding. Luckily, they eventually took a plea deal, but not because they felt sorry, not because they felt bad. It was because they wanted to avoid their kids being able to testify. And what did they get? 25 to life, but guess what? They can apply for parole in 25 years. And if either of them ever walks free, this country has failed us again.